다 드린데 먼저 꺄도야 지카서 오래 가서 빈장에 맞들린 건주다 또 제베 다 드린데 양 꺄도 어느 좀제 그냥 상물로 제가 가고 싶다죠 세상에 상물로야 아니 제시들레스 참지슈에이스 샬롬스
So today we get the chance to meet again after we have met last week, and I'm very happy about that. Rinpoche is saying, so Tashi Delek to everybody, or Shalom as we say here.
아니 다 가지고 그래 다른 가랑주다 체니에 제야디 아니 다 로종도 담바 아니 전주센바 아니 누비 창왔어 봐 도스체네 조지 아니 반대 아디션 제베 아니 로종 누비 창와 봐 아니 가지고 그랬다 시롱 도두지 도스진 비야 도스이스.
So today we're going to study a text which is a mind training text, which is called the Bodhisattva's Garland of Jewels, which Atisha has composed. So we will also get the lung, and also he will explain the
Shiragi Sungza Chimbo, Joji Sungche, and Shiragi Sungza Chimbo. And Dinan, that Yamling, but Chazan Part Dudeva. What the Shirag in this chin pig, Sung Nuva Chimbo Tang Za Chimbo, Annie, Otten in this chin Yore, Sezanti in Duzane, I can't dig Tanin Dus Shilon Putu in Duzane, Dende, Anijik Pendo, and you and Jawatan, and easy use.
This text is so incredibly precious. It teaches us all the gradual stages for the practice. It has got great potency and lots of blessings, and therefore Ling Rinpoche says that he is sure that it will be extremely beneficial for us. Kisi yandide yong sibarwa ani ji mandara bi karishe ina ni ju sabar bi karishe ina samba tinde ke yo mari kon yong shi ji des wa yang ju yang ngamane suju mungu shunyong de ina antati ko sabar she ke mindu ko tinde karso ora bige tinde samya ke yo maris tati zo de ngan ju bige ju lo jong ko re 다가는 신기 남리 lo jong ko du samoko 가슈래 봐 양내 양도 년친 아니 수수 시주 야게 당진이 아니 비게 또와 사바니 돼야 근데 이거 좀 전진 때니 연구요です. So it could be that you have come to these teachings with the hope that you will listen to something new, something which you have not heard ever before. If you have this hope that you will receive something new that you have never heard before, you can eliminate this doubt, because Rinpoche is not going to teach us anything new. But what we're mainly going to study today is a mind training text of the Lam Rim, of the gradual stages of enlightenment. So what we should do with this kind of text is actually just listen again and again in order to train our mind and to get good realization.
아니 가람수 직비게 조다 송주슈에 고든 저부터 가시 공을 쉬는 시래 직비게 다 조디 굴롱 상부지기 토네 굴롱데 아니 직비게 문에 닝구르 년자 아니 직비게 러바 아니 디강 러바 센 디강 게더니 비게 지딘 최제기 상바 러바 직비게 딘제기 굴롱다 다가나 신기 직비게 러바다 깨라친 보유에 민친 보유에 양지 비 된제기 삼바도 만져봐 오늘 굴루 삼바 넘버 타고 지 토네 그봐 된제지 토네다 슈고야디 개침버렸어
So in the previous teaching last week, Rinpoche taught us how to set our motivation at the beginning of the teachings. So we're going now to listen to teachings which are Lojong teachings of mind training. Lojong is in Tibetan, so first we need to set a proper motivation, a motivation which does not have gain in it, that we don't hope for gain or fame for this life alone, or that we hope to be famous. So we shouldn't have all these motivations for only this life, but rather have a good and pure motivation. So we should eliminate our motivation from any of the 8 worldly concerns.
즉 가지고래 예예 뇌지捐숨다 튼jen 두시 초스는 그것은 예마 가면도 총송아 세상 어디 된데 인도 든수 굴롱 셈바체 봐 굴롱 안 된데 뇌捐숨다 잡아다 아니 어디 그 튼jen 두시 주 어디 된데 상화체 봐 아니 삼당과에 되게 개천부르셨어.
So, like I said before, the disciples should be free of having the 3 faults of a vessel and having the 6 conducive considerations. So, these we should have these in mind when for the motivation before receiving a teaching.
ששת הגישות שתומכות בשמיעה או בהקשבה לשיעורים. אז שוב, לאלה מכם שזוכרים, שהיו פה, שזוכרים על מה שדיברנו עליו בשבוע שעבר, כדאי גם לוודא שהתודעה שלנו היא חפה משלושת הפגמים האלה, וגם אם אנחנו מטפחים את 6 הגישות.
아니 지금 그게 라는 네바타 빌두시 세대야. 봐. 소소 비게 지. 다 겨워서 통면에 아니 니모베 샤완도 송시. 아니 지금 그게 된데스 유대베 인도 자네 네바 따라봐 종네다부터 좀 봐. 그거 나는 네바타 빌두시. 단 쇼숭이 넘발 아니 메바타보. 봐. 된적이 내 쥐덥 칭에데. 봐. 아니 다 시엠바 네바 종네디 네 레타발라타 멤버 케바실 마데나 네들 타도 요마르바 대단 멤버 케바단 자와트 라마 디기트니 비게 가슈그레 데니 탑 케바다 아니 지그게 딘데 지그 토네 데니 비게 다 나란조 셈규비 이모시와 지위어바 라메 구순 투기 그바 다 뉴바 지 가슈그레 데 자바 레테네 조조숨 자바르바 오다 딘데 레테네 데니 비게 나란조 규지 니모부 뒤더 남기어바 데 아니 지그게 간데스 남고어스는 구순 투기 때는 연구할 때 저도 숨는 거 봐. 봐. 숨는 거 다 최된다 거네. 아니 지금 이게 담배 최. 봐. 아니 진지 말로 봐. 땜배 거네. 아니 나랑 저 테니 비게 멤버 케베 아니 네바 종네디 테니 비게 맨다 잡아 최기 토네. 아니 지금 그 나랑 저 심기 되다나. 네바 종네디 맹 사진이 담배 최토 말 봐. 다메 바 무튼 땅고 봐. 대단하고 나랑 저 라메 아니 비게 최 가슈르 봐. 아니 라브단 좀 버스는 톤 되는 거 아주 규 되다는 거 알아 봐. 뭐다 딘제기 톤에 바삼당 당토버 이게 좀 모르셨어. 저도다 소소리아 난 네버다 빈두시디 용과에 이렇게 좀 모르셔. 난 네버다 빈두시디 중앙에는 아니 봐. 나란주다 캥바타 아니 나게 이제 뭔가지 톤에 아니 소소 가르쳐내는 디고 소소 라버다 상은 대바이 소소 즉 그게 뭐라다 직접 준시에비네데 저와 아니 마롱어들 제비네디 디메 삼바치 자원 요거 말봐 세상 대인도 난 네버도 두시다 보면 가고 차려 디마 준도 아니 다난 네버도 두시세 가고 차려도 와 세상 대인도 저는 알아도 파 캥바도 무슨 파 충으로 땅체 봐 아니 소수는 주다 소수 지피게 가서 그러다 만지고 왔다 두수 상문 원진 베톤 아니다 네버 종네다부터 차춘በ니 삼바들이 돈다 주는 거에 대해 모르겠어.
So among the 6 considerations, which we should have before we practice, before or listen to teachings. So the first consideration is the one of seeing oneself as a sick person. So, and our sickness is being controlled by the six afflictions, by the afflictions of attachment, ignorance, pride, etc. So in all our previous lives, we were under the control of the afflictions. So this is a chronic disease which we have, is a very difficult one. This is the first consideration which we should have, is to acknowledge the fact that we are sick by the afflictions. The second consideration which we should have is that the Lama, the one who gives us the precious teachings, is the doctor who diagnoses our sickness. Without relying on a doctor, on a skilled doctor, we will not be able to heal from the disease. So we need to rely on a skillful doctor who has the ability to diagnose our sickness and also to give us the right medication to heal us. So therefore, we need to have the consideration of relying on the teacher who is like our doctor. So the doctor has the skill of the body, speech and mind, and the main skill is the skill of talking of the mind. Sorry. So this is the most important skill that we rely on the teacher for, and in a more direct way, it is his ability to teach us the Dharma, which comes from his mental ability. So the Lama teaches us the Dharma in an unmistaken way in order to help us get rid of what we shouldn't engage in, and to engage in the correct ways of behavior and thinking. So therefore, the teacher who teaches us the Dharma is like our doctor. If we have a sickness, a chronic sickness, then it isn't enough just to take medicine once or twice, but rather we need to take it continuously on a long term. So in the same way, we should practice the teacher's teaching as he prescribes, as he tells us. And this is the third consideration, which is relating to the Dharma as the medicine. And then the fourth practice or consideration is to practice the Dharma earnestly and continuously in a deep way. At the moment, our current attitude as a sick person, we have kind of afflictive attitudes of pride and others, which prevent us from seeing our own faults. For example, if we're really proud, which is like to be pride, which is the word which Ling Rinpoche used, is like to be full of yourself. So if we think that we do not have any problem, like lying, like if we lie and we say, well, I've never lied, it is not my personal problem. So this wrong attitude prevents us from practicing the Dharma in a sincere way, which will obstruct us from practicing correctly. So we need to acknowledge our mental afflictions, so that we can see ourselves as a sick person, and then take the medicine properly as the Lama teaches.
다디 인도자네 단다 쉬면은 지구노 마음주 넘버 타고 지 토네 아니 봐 아니 비그게 균대 라마 탄데 아니 맹알레 중원시 아니 레버세트 아니 생고레스.
אז בצורה הזאת, וכאן קיבג'ה לינג רימפוצ'ה דיבר על זה בצורה קצרה, אנחנו מוודאים
다디리샤 딱 한다 로와타 지그게 라울라 중은다 비게 전주기 생기심 봐. 와 군우 전주기 생기심 봐. 아니 딩을 주베이네 비게 타바 되니기 선데 심바 아니 만달라양데 김 지비게 여 침모 편지도 되니 비게 원들 하다니 고방 아니 지비게 다 가지고 그래 원도 고방 지리양 안주 비게 삼친을 봐 아니 오다 딘제 군랑지네 아니 다 던지 타숨 체네 봐 아니 도 드는 딱 한다 라마 공매 송리 좋은 날씨 아니 군 던지 타숨 딘제 간혼직 심바친다 슈토바이나 아니 배운 야침부여레스 다 군은 전주기 셈기 셈니 슈베이나 아니 심쟁 탐제기 장단년배 봐 가지고 심지 탐제기 장단년배기 아니 소소소놈 사에 초조에 딘제 최 년박보라는 편도 침부여레 다 군은 비게 갈서 오래 탐제 타바 튜닝 선배 심바친 슈베이네 야 대초기 고 편도지마도 전주기 셈 기세문나 신기 편도 자원이니 다 디수자장 랩투기요 말에 아니 군은 원도 고방 삼단친 해봐 딘디기 세치만 하다 미 고방 토에 치도 인삼 받치는 슈베이나 아니 편도대 대초기마도 용투기요 말에 어쨌든 다 저기 안한지 군은 기단지 개발투기요 군은 기단지 토네 아니 비게 초조에 드버잖아 숙시주 개발실하기 전부요 딱 가지고 심지 탐제스도 장가스 개요만 봐. 세상다 소놈 소아에 대한 장가스 장내 대버지. 그봐. 저버자에 장 대버지. 들이 쳐고요. 다간다 최 년바점 그냥 꿀루 그봐 꿀루 넘버 타버지 돈에 최 년바이나. 네. 최 년바 걸어난 거 조사 div전 로투야다. 실하기 도 친구요.
So we want, while listening to the teachings, that our mental state is free from the three faults which we have mentioned before, and that we have the six considerations, which our motivation is as pure as possible when we listen to the teachings. So in addition, His Holiness, His Eminence says that that the great lamas of the past have emphasized the fact that we should develop bodhicitta, or the mind of enlightenment, which is the supreme motivation for listening to the teachings. So we can observe three kinds of motivations which we can develop while listening to teachings. So the first motivation is which is the widest one, the greatest one, is the bodhicitta motivation, where we think that in order to be of great benefit to all sentient beings who are as vast as the sky, for their benefit, I will listen to these teachings, I will study the Dharma. With this motivation, which is a pure motivation, we can accumulate the great accumulations, and we can also get rid of all the negative actions and our afflictions. If we do not set the motivation of the mind of enlightenment, so we can look at the lesser motivation, which so it's the motivation of attaining liberation, which is attaining liberation or nirvana, and we do this with the same intent of listening to the teachings in order to attain liberation. If we only think of our own liberation without thinking of being of benefit to all sentient beings, then the accumulations which we get during the practice will not be as vast as the bodhicitta motivation. So the third level of motivation which we can have while listening to teaching is attaining a higher rebirth in the gods and in the human realms. If we set this kind of motivation for a higher rebirth, then the accumulation and the purification which we do will be of the lowest level among these three motivations of liberation and enlightenment, or bodhicitta, for the benefit of enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So the vastest one, the vastest motivation, the highest one is that of bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment. And the accumulations and purifications which we create will be limitless. We cannot set a particular amount which we will accumulate during the teachings. The amount of merit will just be limitless. So at the beginning of these teachings, it is good to observe our motivation and to make sure that we develop the best motivation, the one which is the greatest, the strongest, which will help us to accumulate the great accumulations and purification of negative actions.
두두 잠지 아니 비게 라디오 경로를 묻지 군든 톱친 어떻게 되시 세상 뒤인데 아니야마다 간 텐텐시 마도 수행이스 라디오 경로를 묻지 톱송스 아니 일단 예 드린 간 톱도지마 슈근이스
So, with this motivation, His Eminence will teach us now the text of the Bodhisattva's Garland of Jewels. He will give us a lung of the text, the transmission and the teaching which Rinpoche will give us. Well, he got from, I didn't get the name, sorry.
야가르티에도 쓰르베 Bodhisattva mania abali re pege do tene bige tati kachu leja ke che pönang pege nang chu gyoba ina ani chanju sembe labja ani nubu changwas odati da.
So the text which we will learn today is in Sanskrit language, it's on page 32, by the way. The first verse. So page 32 is the English. So it is in the language of India, or in Sanskrit it is called Bodhisattva Manyavali, and in Tibetan it's Changchup Sembe Norbu Chengwa. In English it's the Bodhisattva's Garland of Jewels.
투지 첨보라 찾아. 왜? 투지 첨보라 찾아. 개별하라 찾아. 라만남 찾아. 그거? 람. 어디지? 다디 인도는 단다 이 가지고래. 아니 가지고래다. 그치랑 가담 하시스 정도 송도와. 근데 다보인데 아니 좀 된대. 칠레를 하인데 주준 좀 아니 가지고래. 바제세를 하면 요와. 아니 디레 템베다 보이는데 템바체. 칠레를 하인데 주주마. 닝질 하인데 바바제레스. 오다티 템베다 보이는데 템바 좀 된대체. 닝질 하인데 바바제레스. 아니 바제세를 하인데 칠레를 하인데 주주마체. 바제세를 하인데 아니 미워 왔어. 제 또데 가담 하시지. 가담베 마마 고만든 적이 달직 또 이담스네면도 소소피게 디나이티 아니 가담 하시기도 봐. 템바티 만주 템베타보 또 차디기 요래. 제단티 인도네 템바티다 템바 좀 된데티 아니 조체. 다디 나랑도 되네 비게 탑테버 투지심으로 된 베트니 비게 인지 땅안주 너 인지데 딸람지 자와도 신 차대인데 아버들 대버친분 남지 자와 차대인데 대버지면 한 자오 전주기 쓰는 인지는 인지 차리 인지면 전주기 쓰는 대답을 말어 봐. 그런데 인지는 아니 인지 하인데다 법제를 쓰다 제가 계속 못하고요. 다 추르가는 안 두니 뭔고 거를 개개 뭔고 세고 위어를 세상에 인지는다 요즘 좀 맞디다 이게 저 탐지기 봐. 주주도 세던 지금 탐지기 아니 그게 진례기 수수 샤워티 좀 주준 좀 맞춰 쳐야 되고 지금 이제다 가다가 남았어 고무줄 진례가 파이는 거 주준 좀 맞어 어디도 쓰 같이 세에 도움이었지 그봐 어디도 쓰 가다가 다시 세기 또 가다가 남았어 고무줄 그만
הטקסט קשור במסורת
So
הקדם.
this text is connected to the Kadampa tradition.
הקדם יש את ה...
지다 까담세 둔다죠, 여러분. 까담세 둔다 가르스나 아니 다 산제 존된 디지 추지 공부 기지 시동을 소배. 다 추지 그게 지비가 쇼그래. 되는 순도 기지 다 가쇼그래 그게 뭐고도 소요, 여러분. 되게 용수 도바티 야외 아니 야와 투비 야와 샤제 투비 그게 송도 추지 되게 용수 도바티 아니 담을 키통에 될라 안 가다 봤어. 그봐 계획과 탐지 담을 키웠으니까 냠내네 자 통티. 그봐 이게 도와가리까지 이게 배상원 집에 파기로 와. 아니 대보선도 유디시 된다 차단한테 아니 말은 좀 되게 강사직 냠내 가서 강사직 상계에 냠내려 키통에 될라 아니 가다 봤어. 어떻게 지금 계획 같은 게 담아다 샤더니 이거 가다 봤어.
So since we have mentioned the Kadampa or the Kadam, so what does Kadam means? In Tibetan, the language is built from syllables, and each syllable has got a particular meaning. So in the word Kadam, there's the syllable of Ka and Ka and Dam. So Ka means the teachings like speech. So the Buddha, the Buddha Shakyamuni, our teacher, gave 84,000 different teachings. His 84,000 teachings are divided into different ways. They're like the three baskets or the pitakas. And also the 4 classes of Tantra. So that means that all the teachings that Buddha Shakyamuni has given are extremely vast, and they're put into these in these different categories of the direct explanations for the practice. So this is the meaning of the second syllable, which is Dam, Ka, Dam, and the second one, Dam, means like a concise, to put all these great teachings that the Buddha gave and into personal instructions that are given to us. So these personal instructions are from the beginning of the path to enlightenment all the way through to the highest yoga tantra, which is Guhya Samaja. So all these teachings are like personal instructions for our practice. So this is the greatness of the Kadam lineage. In tradition, in this tradition of the Kadam, there are 4 deities. There are 4 deities which we rely on. The first one is Buddha Shakyamuni. The second one is Tara. And the third one is Chala, which is known as a deity which removes helps us to remove our obstacles. And the last one is Chinrezig or Avalokiteshvara, which represents compassion. So first of all, when we contemplate about the Buddha Bhagavan, Buddha Shakyamuni, He's the one who taught us the great collection of all the teachings which we're learning now. So they were taught with great compassion and great skill. So the aspect of compassion Chinrezig represents, because compassion is not only the root of the path which we want to develop in our mind, but also compassion is also the root of the mind of enlightenment, because without developing compassion there is no way at all to develop bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment. This is the basis of bodhicitta. So this is what Chinrezig represents, the aspect of compassion of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. In order to practice the path, we need to develop all conducive conditions and to remove all obstacles and hindrances. So Tara, or in Tibetan drama. So with the actions of enlightenment, she aids us to have the conducive conditions for practicing the Dharma. We also mentioned Achala, who is a deity which is wrathful, and she is linked to removing obstacles, hindrances, difficulties which we have in practicing the Dharma. So, as we mentioned, Tara is a deity who represents all the enlightened activities, and all these enlightened activities of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, of the 10 directions and the 3 times. So the explanation of the Kadam and the 4 deities is linked to the first verse, which says, homage to great compassion, homage to the deities who inspire faith and devotion, homage to the masters. So the explanation which His Eminence gave is linked to this first verse of having compassion, and the great teachers refers to homage to the masters, refers to our teachers who teach us the Dharma, who are extremely important, who are very dear to us. But the Buddha appeared in this world, and he taught the Dharma by turning the wheel of the Dharma 3 times. He taught The Buddha gave teachings of which are divided into the three Pitakas, but even though he taught so much, we didn't meet him directly. But the one who we did meet directly, and we still do, is our direct Lama, is our precious spiritual teacher. So we receive teachings from our Lamas, and these are the things which we actualize in our personal practice. So it means that in the most practical way, our spiritual teachers, our Lamas who we rely upon, who we pay respect to them, as it is said in the second verse, they teach us how to practice in a way that our actions and our mind will be in the same level, they'll be equal. So this is the purpose of the spiritual teachers. And as it is said, the spiritual teachers are the root for all the good qualities which we will develop in the future by going over the three stages, the Lam Rim. So the teachers also help us to accumulate vast merit and to clear all negative actions, to remove all our negative afflictions. And we do this by relying on our spiritual teacher. So the four deities of the Kadam tradition are Chinrezig of Lokiteshvara, who represents the compassion of all the Buddhas, and there is Tara, who represents the enlightened activities. And the third one, who represents the removal of all obstacles and negative conditions. It is Achala and the Buddha Bhagavan. So all these four deities, the Lama is the one who unifies them all, who represents the unification of these four deities. And since for us is the unification of all these four deities, so we pay respect to him with our body, speech and mind.
아니 이모 배터좀 그거 이모 배터좀 이모 봤어 딱이 인바 좀 나한테 시에를 통 아니 무슨 딱 저러고 남지 시에를 아니 이모가 탐지에 빵빵 됐어 그거 저러고 남지 시에를 아니 이모 배터좀 그거 탐지 나한테 파워 탐지 좀 소리야 봐도 지금 이거 이모지 굉장히 이모티 반드시는 쪽 위에서는 아니 알아도 이 싫어 이 아니 이모도 떠오르죠 이 방식 아니 저쪽부터 너가 이모도 떠오르죠 방식 아니 대거친구 그게 남주거리야 아니 저쪽부터 남고디 아니 그 인지입니다 그거 되려야 아니 소수의 민원시, 소수의 민원이 나는데 제로시 지기로 민원시 아니 그게 대거친구 남도 있고 그게 나도 진진과 딱 진진 잘했어. 그거 어떻게 생각해요? 대선 수비자는 너무 못했어. 너무 나도 타바를 통제했지만 난 되게 어려워. 타바를 통제했지만 되게 어려워. 타바를 통제했지만 되게 어려울 때에 타바를 통제했지만 바로 주고 되게 계획이 가져왔으면 또 어디가 문제가 가져온 상태가 있어. 이 인바지 많은 게 파고를 했잖아. 아니 그 빵이 있어. 그 근데스 빵이 있으면 일단 쉬어라도 남기 싫어. 그거 잘못된 부분이 또 싫어. 아니 싫어. 나한테 둘이 뛰는 거 있나? 아니 괜찮을까? 봐봐 현재 되게 또 아니 이몸과 싸워도 제가 한번 됐어. 그거 대중 관계 방식이 됐어요. 딱 뒤니까 대과친도 남주발이야. 그렇습니까? 그거 아니 내 친구들 통해서 아니 딱 어떤 의미를 불러서
So first we began with the name of the text, which is the Bodhisattva's Garland of Jewels, and in the different languages. After that we paid homage to the great masters. And now begins the actual text. So the text is divided into two parts. The first part is the instructions of how to remove all obstacles and negativities, and also developing all conducive conditions for practicing the Dharma. So the first text, the beginning reads, "Be done with doubt and indecision, and embrace your practice with all your heart. Shake off lethargy, dullness, and laziness, and strive always with enthusiasm and joy. Mindful, vigilant, and careful, guard the doorways of your sense at every moment. 3 times each day, 3 times at night, again and again examine your thoughts. Make plain your own failings, but don't look for faults in others. Make known the good points of others, but keep quiet about your own best qualities. Let go of craving for gain and honor, and give up the urge for profit or fame." So these lines, they explain how to remove all our faults, which are hindrances to our practice, and to develop conducive conditions so that we can attain enlightenment or liberation. So first of all, we acknowledge the fact that we want to attain enlightenment. We want the liberation, but also that we have the ability to do so. So we can actually become Buddhas. We can attain enlightenment, but we have some obstacles. We have hindrances to attaining this state. So the first obstacle which we see in the first line, which we called, is the doubt, the afflictive doubt. So we aim to get rid of this doubt, but in a wider way to actually all the states of, to all the afflictions. So we want to get rid of our afflictions, including as well as their roots, so that we can attain liberation and enlightenment. And the way to get rid of the doubt together with its root is by developing wisdom. It's the wisdom that's get rid of our afflictions, including their root. So since we aspire to get rid of all of our afflictions, is by developing wisdom. So we want to combine our wisdom together with compassion, true and honest compassion coming from our hearts. So we want to practice the Mahayana stages to enlightenment. Well, their basis, their root is compassion. So we unite compassion together with wisdom, and this is what will get rid of our afflictions. And in particular, in this verse, it means the afflictive doubt. So we want to develop the wisdom realizing emptiness, since this is the only thing that gets rid of the root of our afflictions. In order to do this, we need to develop our practice.
다 단지 되려야. 그봐. 단지 아니 따도 통했지. 아무 정도 마세베 근데 되게 이게 가지고 그래. 누가 냠내 이야. 아니 지금 만도 따도 누가 냠내 이야. 아니 그게 진진 쳐버리. 그렇게 좀 쳐버렸어. 와 해보지 몰랑 줘볼라. 해보지 몰랑 럭키 인사가 tan다. 해보지 몰랑 아니 그게 대장 문제가 있어. 아니 지금 년대가 통해. 그봐 이게 지금 대칭부지기 통해 아니 지금 대버친도 남녀 말하고 그 제대로 버렸어 칸에 대버친도 인스라고다 지금 이게 대버친도 지금 인상부터 무쇼가 대버친도 남 하유 나유기 통해 아니 텔리야 대 진진스는 거 한다 그러기는 말하는 이게 그봐 나의 와도 신제로 주고 lap체 뒤따고 챔버치 아니 말하는 이제 교도도 되는 되게 소소히 굉장히 다시하려고 하다 되게 lap체 대다 맞아서 아니 저랑 때문에 그랬어 그렇게 좀 같다
So what we want to get rid of, to abandon, is the self-grasping. And the attitude which we want to develop is cherishing others, in particular in the Mahayana tradition which we are practicing. So we want to develop cherishing others. So if we're thinking ourselves as the Dharma practitioners, or as Mahayana practitioners, we think, I'm a Dharma practitioner, I'm a Mahayana practitioner. We should embrace this completely without hesitation or doubt. So we shouldn't just say it out of our mouth, but actually cherish others and not cherish only ourselves. So we want to practice in an authentic way, something in a way that what we think or the way we are and what we say is united, is the same. So that saying I'm a Buddhist or I'm a Mahayana practitioner, but not actually to practice in a way which cherishes others. So we do this sincerely and truly. So this is what these two lines say. Be done with doubt and indecision, and embrace your practice with all your heart.
다음은 된대다 대화친구 남다 시기에 냠슬랑 오요로 대화친구 남냠슬랑 제발라 다 되게 가지 말고요. 되게 가지고 건데스요로서는 아니 지금 다시 그래. 남은 것을 주고 다 지금 이다. 그봐 아니 이거로 니무 렐로 방식이 좋아. 제가 이 부분에다 이다. 다음에 신기 때문에 다시 그래. 무과세세. 그봐 아니 렐로 아니 기루과 아니 어디 굉장히지 그게 지금 너무 쉽지요. 그래서 다 되게 다 남는 로비알로다 또 같이 친구 치고 그러고 이 톤에 아니 나도 지금 좀 되나 대답 이제 답방이요. 그래서 그봐 대답 이제 방법이요. 그래서 어쨌든 이제 아니 나도 태고 친구 남는 롬드는 그봐 태고 친구 남는 롬드요. 여버전도 마세베 아니 그게 지금 태버친도 남기 페인 삼삼이나 다 태버친도 남로야 나도 또 수치고 대표고요. 봐. 페인 삼삼다 원래 페인시도 쉬고 오늘 인지인지 연락 두고 산다 하는 사람을 스포트도 와. 요를 때문에 이내 대다 뭐 수가 되더니 다 단다 쉬고는 신 같이 봐. 이거 뭐거든 레로도 이제 뭐 쉬우지 봐. 다티 나는 그 분명 거는 아니 나는 방고 어떻게 계속 붙여요. 그봐 그냥 이제 다티 근데 방고 요래서는 아니 가지고 그러나 단 그런 니도 찾춘도 있나 단니 수치고 그봐 아니 지금 이제 지단이 그거로 하는 그거 니 그거요 때문에 니도 거기에 쳐지고 지가 참도 쳐지면 좋은 거는 지금 무슨 뭐지 지난 안고 전 주기 대들이는 그냥 그지 다사로 단 이메 공인이 지금 그게 딱그 주기 최대는 근데 뭐지 그거 되면 알아서다 그게 최대 시간 근데 뭐지 턴에 그 일이 뭐 템포로 괜히 나가서 이 실천도 주는 이 방식은 하고로 다이는 그 최대 제단 알아서다 지금 이제 제가 여러 근데 뭐 지기 턴에 인베인데 세 인사를 아니 공무세 방이라도 아직 그게 동제 제야 돼. 그거 아니 그게 이 그야도 디스플레이야 올라가서 주는 방이야. 근데 이제 뭐 지기 아니 누구 무정 제야 근데 뭐 주는 수 못한 거 그게 아니 비도네 아니 근데 이거 봐. 어쨌든 다 이제 다 간다 이 못된 거고 다 한다. 뭐 이다. 아니 무엇에 그때 턴에 튀어오는 거지. 이거 진짜로. 와. 다들 저도 있는 중에 무슨 총고로. 뭐 못된 하니까 지목 정화다 도바다 무엇이 근데 지금 뭐 시기도. 군주파 군주로 저토가 있나? 아니 되게 때문에 이거로 이게 지금 때문에 저토가 뒤수기 아니 이모벌이야다 뭐 이게 저토가 좀 거였어 어쨌든 이제 아니 다음에 시기다 레로 방법이 그거 레로 스타트고 산이제 선파파 경고에 지금 여러 다음에 시기 그게 아니 말하고 그게 어디다 근데 지금
So shake off lethargy, dullness and laziness, and strive always with enthusiasm and joy. So we want to practice the Mahayana. We think that this is something that we want to do, but in order to do this, we need to practice all the conducive conditions for the path of the Mahayana practice, and to get rid of all obstacles for that. So what it does not concord with the Mahayana path is lethargy, dullness, and laziness. So these are hindrances which we want to stop, because it could be that we do want to practice the Mahayana, we think of the great advantages of practicing the Mahayana. And if we think of these great advantages, the benefit which we will get, then our mind will be full of inspiration and joy, enthusiasm. We can do it with joyous effort. But even though we get inspiration from the Mahayana tradition and we practice enthusiastically, still we might have conditions, such conditions of lethargy, dullness, and laziness. So this word which is used for lethargy is also the word which is used for sleep in Tibetan, ni. So His Eminence is saying that we can look at our patterns, our way of sleeping. It could be that we sleep too many hours every day during the night. So it could be said that in general we should sleep 6 or 7 or 8 hours. And it could be that we sleep also during the day, or sleep too much, more than 6 to 8 hours. And we need to have a kind of lifestyle in a gradual way of sleeping the right amount of hours every day, so that we can develop conducive conditions for our practice, in this way shaking off lethargy, and also to eat properly, to eat balanced food which is nutritious, not too much food. And in this way, if we eat enough, if we eat in the right way during the day, we won't need to eat dinner. In the Buddhist tradition, it is generally accepted that monks and nuns don't eat dinner, so we can develop this lifestyle gradually of just eating breakfast and lunch. So we don't have to eat dinner. So we can do this gradually by eating balanced meals and doing exercise, and not sleeping too much. So another obstacle which for our Mahayana practice is dullness. So this is mental dullness, which is similar to a kind of a sleepiness which we have mentioned just now. It's similar to lethargy, actually. So when we practice the Mahayana, we want to practice concentration. Oh, samadhi. So dullness is an obstacle for our concentration practice. So when we eat in a balanced way, sleep in a balanced way, a balanced amount of, and do some exercise, then it will help us not being dull. We also want to get rid of laziness which procrastinating for tomorrow, the next day. So this is something which we want to stop. So this is what is mentioned in these 2 lines: shake off lethargy, dullness and laziness, and strive always with enthusiasm and joy.
아니 준주세 저가지고 어쨌든 준주 때문이나 아니 준주가 친구거든요. 지금에 너무 뭐 하나 친구 저거 친구 연기 넣자 아니 딱손 와가지고 한숨 또 이런 짓이세 또 대리 저거 친구가 그렇게 됐어. 뭐 그렇게 됐습니다.
The last line says, and strive always with enthusiasm or joyous effort. So this is an attitude which delights in engaging in virtue. Rinpoche used the word of being happy, to happily engaging in virtue. So this is what joyous effort means. So in order to develop the gradual stages in the Mahayana tradition, it is important we need to do hard work, and therefore we need to be enthusiastic and joyous to do this, to engage in this effort necessary for the path of the Mahayana. So we want to stop this self-cherishing, and in order to do that, we should do it with joyous effort. This is what is said in this verse.
전대를 지었고 그와 시신 그게 잘하지 아니지 그게 문제가 좀 사춘들이나 그래야지 말하지 다 어떻게 되다 전주기 생겼으니까 이제 저거 친구랑 인생 공부 어릴 때는 이제 나한테 사람들이 그도 있고 직교처럼 통면에 아주 과자 수신도 있고 사람도 제일 뭐 그것도 내리고 아 둘레에 빨라야 아니 나는 이제 이 인샤신 친구이나 저거 친구 나는 그렇게 하고 싶은 차이야. 그다음에 이제 그러니까 나는 친구 아니 그게 시신이 잘하지. 남사 나는 이제 사람들 대성사를 주는 남사야기 다 대고 지켜서 그런 제가 따로 신경이 사. 그게 뭐 신을 나한테 진짜 일이 나네 진짜 싫어. 아니지 그게 나의 그 사람의 에너지 나의 어떤 신체가 뭐 당신이 있어봐 그게 아니 너 부서지 뭐 당신이 신경도 그렇고 제 여 그걸 야 그게 여어도 있는 것도 가지고 있고 나제가 그 부분이 신경을 받고 그게 상관없어 오늘 공직도 지금 나도 지금 시행 안 하고 여어를 보면 뭐 나중에 공직 친구 예상 걔네 그게 가지고 그래 지금 시신이 잘하시는 분들이 있나? 아니 누가 아니 라면 밑에가 지금 뭐라는 거에 그게 뭔가 친구인 거예요. 그다음에 이제 제대로 가지고 같은 시신이 잘하시는 거가 아주 좋고
So we should, as well as having joyous effort, we need to be mindful, vigilant and careful. Guard the doorways of your senses at every moment. So being fine, mindful, vigilant is like or alertness, introspection. So this vigilance is what makes sure that we're doing what we should do. So we don't only need to be mindful, but we also need to set this guard, which is like a spy who makes sure that we do what we should do, and it checks that we do what we always need to do, and this is done time and time again. so that we don't get off the correct path of the Mahayana path. So our aim is to develop the mind of enlightenment. In order to succeed doing this, we need to develop vigilance, which we acknowledge from time without beginning in all the rebirths which we have gained. We were under the afflictive emotions, under the control of the afflictive emotions, and in particular the self-cherishing. And we know this self-cherishing so well that in an easy way or so quickly our mind gets controlled by our self-cherishing. So therefore we need vigilance which notices that again self-cherishing has arisen in our mind. Last week we have spoken about developing the mind of enlightenment, which exchanging self-cherishing with other cherishing. So when we develop the mind of enlightenment with equalizing and exchanging self and other, what we're actually doing is exchanging our attitude of cherishing ourselves with the attitude of cherishing others. At the moment, since we're so habituated since beginningless time to our self-cherishing, it controls us and we ignore the others. So we do actions which come at the expense of others. And what we want to do is exchange these two attitudes of cherishing ourselves and cherishing others. So we want to cherish others and to ignore, in a sense, ourselves. So we cannot develop this attitude in a simple and easy way since beginningless time we have been so habituated to the self-cherishing. So therefore mindfulness and vigilance are extremely careful or extremely important in the Mahayana.
이 좋아했나? 아니 어디 거든지 아니 이제 대충 와 수준이 해도 매번 온다수 먹어야 돼 온다수 음료를 쓰면 이렇게 싸내다 그지다 이게 되어야 된다 가비네 시세도 많이 가지고 다 뒤따고 쓴 거예요 지금 그래서 이제 교주가 이게 가지고 좀 소식이 있는데 좋아하는 아니 어디도 강국에 대충하는 거다 그거는 시작됩니다.
So we want to develop mindfulness, vigilance, and conscientiousness. So we want to develop these three states of our mind so that we can guard the doorways of our senses all the time. So we train in the three trainings, the training of morality, the training of concentration, and of wisdom. The training of morality is the basis for the two second morality of the second trainings of concentration and wisdom. Without training in morality, we cannot train in concentration or in the training of wisdom. And in order to do this correctly, we need to develop mindfulness and vigilance. So when we practice morality, we refrain from negative actions of body, speech, and mind. But the main ones are body and speech. So if we can refrain from these body and verbal actions, then we can stop the mental training. But the main ones for the mental trainings, for stopping them, are concentration, the training in concentration and wisdom. So first of all, we refrain from negative actions of inappropriate physical way or inappropriate verbal way. So what we need to do is guard the senses all the time. Because if we look at the way that we relate to our surrounding, we do this through our senses. So our eye relates to particular beautiful views, particular beautiful objects which we see, or pleasant sounds which we hear through our ears, or good smells through our nose, or nice taste through our mouth or tongue, or nice physical sensations through our body. So since time and time again we are entangled with this input that we get from our senses, then we develop attachment or anger, attachment or aversion to this input that we get from our senses. So in order to restrain our senses, first we want to develop introspection, mindfulness and introspection, which will aid us, helping to behave in a positive way while being mindful and careful. Behaving in a conscientious way does not depend on the place where we are at the time where the era that we live in, but rather during the day and during the night, at all times we should be careful and make sure that our actions are conscientious. As long as we're alive, we should be careful. It's not that in the day we can be conscientious and at night we shouldn't, and be just conscientious at night and not during the day. So we need to be careful and guard our senses throughout day and night all the time. in order to refrain from negative actions of body, speech, and mind. So this verse says, mindful, vigilant, and careful, guard the doorways of your senses every moment, 3 times each day, 3 times at night, again and again examine your thoughts. So we need time and again to examine our mind so that we can recognize the situations in which we are controlled by our self-cherishing. So we should think always of the qualities, the benefits of cherishing others, and to think of the faults of self-cherishing and the benefits of cherishing others. We should do this in all kinds of ways. So we aim to transform, to fix our mind, because our mind is usually controlled by misconceptions. So these are conceptions which are incorrect, and often our mind is controlled by them. So in order to fix our mind, in order to improve it, we need to get rid of, to stop being controlled by these misconceptions. We want to tame it, and also to tame our mind, and also to get us serenity, peacefulness. So one of the verses that the Buddha taught says that we should tame or subdue our mind and not to perform any negative actions. to perform virtuous actions and to subdue our mind completely. So in order to tame or subdue our mind perfectly, we need to make sure that our three doors of body, speech and mind are serviceable. Because if we do not pay attention to our negative actions, if we do not pay attention to our physical and verbal mental actions, how can we train our mind? How can we tame it? When we speak about the word, the Tibetan word for Dharma means, it says Chu in Tibetan, and it means, in this context, it means to fix or transform. What we want to fix, what we want to transform is our mind. At the moment, our mind isn't tamed, it isn't peaceful, and what we want to fix, what we want to change is to making our mind to tame, subdued and peaceful. In order to do this, we need to transform our mind to be serviceable. So at the moment it is too stiff, as Rinpoche said. It means that as long as our mind is stiff, it is not flexible. We cannot transform it, we cannot fix it. As long as our mind isn't flexible, it cannot be used in an effective way. Like gymnastics, people who practice particular exercises, they have a very flexible body. Their body is serviceable. So in the same way, we should have our mind to be very serviceable. I'd say flexible. So it isn't stiff anymore. So that our mind can transform. So if we develop a serviceable mind, then it will be open to transformation. The main thing that Bodhisattvas want to abandon, to destroy during their practices, is an attitude which cherishes oneself, their own self-cherishing. So Bodhisattvas practice in particular trainings, which they refrain from negative actions, which are called the root downfalls. So for the ones who know what the root downfalls are called as praising oneself. The first one is praising oneself and belittling others. So this is the first root downfall of the Bodhisattvas. And this is what harms, and the first thing which harms the downfall of the Bodhisattva's practice. So we need to make sure that we do not behave in such a way. So then it says, make plain your own failings, but don't look for faults in others. So instead of praising ourselves, if we have a little quality, and if somebody has a small fault, then we make it known. So we don't want to continue working and behaving in this way. If somebody has a small, even a small quality, we should praise it and emphasize it. We should let others know about it. And if someone has even a small fault, we don't want to speak about it. If we have a particular quality, we don't want to speak. We shouldn't speak about it. And if we have any fault, we can speak about it fully. So as it says, make known the good points of others, but keep quiet about your own best qualities. So this is similar to as it is said in the 8 verses of transforming the mind. So he said,
whenever I'm in the company of others, I should regard myself as the lowest quality, and from the depth of my heart, cherish others as supreme.
as Yaki said,
with a routine, again, where it's making me kind of run, and עומק ליבי, או כאילו כאן כמובן. וזה בעצם הרוח שלקחה את מספר...
So this is the spirit which is expressed in this verse. Make known the good points of others, but keep quiet about your own best qualities. So we aim to cherish others while abandoning self-cherishing or diminishing our self-cherishing, and to expand our cherishing others. In order to do this in a correct way, we should do it in a way that our practice does not have the 8 worldly concerns. If we practice while thinking that we will get fame or gain out of our practice, then our practice will be tainted. These kind of attitudes, they're called the worldly attitudes, which taint, they impede our practice. So therefore, we want to make sure that cherishing others is done in a way of not hoping for any fame, gain, etc. So we want to diminish self-cherishing and develop cherishing others.
להתחיל יותר להתעלם מהרווחה של עצמנו ולטפח את תופעת הסביבה. הדבר הזה צריך להתבצע בצורה נפלאה לראות.
달리는데 뭐지? 얘가 푸티폰스, 킹지폰스, 들어와. 그래서 다들 다 장난인지 느베팅이지. 장난인지 본체신 전수 있으면 때려자. 장난인지 본체신 전수 있으면 때려자. 유튜브 본체신 스타트 잡아 때려자. 다디인지 다디와 전수 있으면 무시라서 그래서 전주 다 우리 이제 공부해야 되는 그것이 가지고 나도 그 나중에 그 시행되는 그 이제다가 어떻게 저를 지내서 다 무시 전주 있으면 내가 그랬어 어떻게 돼요 다 제가 저를 제는 아니 하나 그냥 있어 상당히 괜찮지 전주 있으면 때가 있어 어떻게 일단은 되려 가지고 안다니까 만들어낸 것처럼 진짜 평소 우리 공부 도와주고 도와주는 게 무슨 부분이 들어가는 대로 있는 것이 너무 좋아. 어떻게 이제 여기 타고지 양말이 이제 일단 여기 차리고 제가 뒤에 있으니까 것인데 아주 말씀제 탐제 대회사로 공부도 되게 참가다. 그러나 지금 분명 하다는 게 그게 좋아지고 인지사바. 다 이미지가 보다 가수는 있다. 그 공부에 이렇게 되는 것처럼. 이제 그 전주 있으면 그렇지. 아니 가수로 때바지다. 아니 지금 가수로 다 가수 너무 좋아지. 다 용어라. 아니 도마 잠다 인지 양이 양도 공부. 어쩌면 또 전주 있으면 모두들 장면이지. 이 나는 땅이지. 인지도 그게지. 그래서 보다 가수도 괜찮아. 정말 괜찮아. 정말 가수래. 누가? 썰린다고 그랬다. 바로 괜찮아. 틀리다고 그랬다. 한말 괜찮아. 누구는 말이다. 어떻게 됐습니까?
So, by getting rid of self-cherishing and developing the attitude of cherishing others, by making sure that our action is not tainted by the 8 worldly dharmas, the lines say, let go of craving for gain and honor and give up the urge for profit or fame. That is what refers to in what we've explained before. And then the next lines, the main practice begins. So the main practice begins with developing the mind of enlightenment, which is the main practice of bodhisattvas, and it reads, cultivate love and compassion and make your bodhicitta stable. So the bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment, aspires to attain the great enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings who are our mothers in samsara, or in the three cycles of existence. So we see that sentient beings experience so much suffering which cannot be bared, and then for the benefit of sentient beings who are in the cyclic existence, we aim to lead them to a state of happiness and well-being, And in order to be able to do this, in order to have this ability, we need ourselves to be Buddhas. In order to develop bodhicitta in our mind, we need to develop love and compassion, which are like the basis for the development of bodhicitta. So we want to develop love and kindness towards others, which helps them to stay in a state of well-being. And we want to develop compassion, which aspires, which hopes that others will be free from suffering. So these are the two preliminary stages of love and compassion. And it is said in the text that compassion is important for us at the beginning, at the middle, at the end. At the beginning, it is so important. It is like a seed. It is the seed from which enlightenment which will develop. And at the second stage, in the middle, it is just like the water. Compassion is like the water, which allows which allows the practitioners to continue on the way.
האוכל המזין שאנחנו משתמשים בו, בסיבות,
Miyake translated the second one to be like the fertilizer, which is used for the seed to grow, and it is important. It is also so Yaki is explaining the Hebrew word that he used for fertilizer. And compassion is also so compassion is important at the end because it's like the fruits of our enlightened activities. So love and compassion, the main one, among love and compassion, the main one is compassion, and it's important at the beginning, middle and end. We said that the importance of compassion is emphasized in the text, and Rinpoche has read a verse in Chandrakirti in the middle way. Please listen.
Rich harvest is worded for development and is ripening in a state of non-enjoyment. Therefore, at the start there is compassion. מה שצ'נדרקרטי אמר במשרה שלו לדרך האמצע, חמלה בעצמה לבדה נחשבת לזרע של...
So it is said that compassion, it is like the seed which brings the harvest it is like the water and the fertilizer which is necessary for the seed to develop. And compassion is also important in the fruition of the activities that the enlightened ones do. So therefore, Chandrakirti says that at the beginning, compassion is very important. I'm going to have a break now.